All right, in this question here, we are trying to compare three different banks. When we're doing this, it's actually a pretty straightforward process. Um, we're just going to use the effective rate conversion part of our calculator. What the effective rate does is it lets you see what each bank's interest would be like if it was only compounding once per year. So we don't actually need to have any money inputs in this. All you need to do is go into the finance part of your calculator, and then you want to go F5, which is the conversion. What you'll see on the conversion is that there's two variables there. There is N and there is I%. N is just the CY, or the compounds per year, which is fairly straightforward, and it's something that we've done plenty before. The I% is just the interest rate that they've given us as a full percentage. So let's look at the first one. It's Holland Bank. So with Holland Bank, we can see that we have monthly compounding, so it's 12 for our N, and our interest is going to be 3%. So if we just go into the EFF, there's only two inputs. So we put in the 12, put in the 3, and then we want to hit F1, which is EFF. So what this is telling us is that our interest rate would be 3.04% if it was annual compounding. So again, the reason that we use this is to make comparisons between different financial institutions or different interest rates so that we can actually compare them on a sort of yearly basis. If we didn't have this option, we'd sort of be doing a bit of guesswork. You might have to use some dummy variables, but luckily we can just make that comparison. All right, so with Clements, we can see that we are weekly compounding, so 52 compounds a year, and our interest is 2.9. When we put that in, we can see that we're going to get 2.94%. And again, that would be annual compounding. Now what you can see is that from each of those different interest rates so far, you've seen them jump up a little bit in comparison. So if it was only compounding annually, you'd need a bit more of an interest rate to get the same value as you would if it was compounding more regularly. What you can also see is that they only jump by a small amount, so it's not going to be a huge difference. But what we're looking for when we do these calculations is making sure that that annual compounding rate is higher than the one that we've been given. So what we're going to do now, finally, we're going to look at Parkinson. And in Parkinson's, we've got N equals 365 because that is daily compounding. And our interest rate is 2.95%. Again, when we have more compounds per year, you're going to need a bigger interest rate annually to match that. So what you can sort of assume here is that the Parkinson one is going to grow probably a little bit more than the Clements and Holland Bank, but we'll just see what happens. And we've got 2.99% annual compounding. So basically the one that did have the highest interest rate was still the best option. But if you had, for example, three different banks giving you 3% interest, but they said they would compound it at different times, you want to take the one that has the most compounds per year.